Hi everyone, Diane here. Welcome to my Cairo studio. Today's painting is going to be a beautiful, quick and easy floral in a bright blue jug, which I'm doing in the style of Matisse, as a Kickstarter for our new monthly challenge, which is called Moments of May. I'm going to be doing Matisse-inspired paintings all the rest of the month to help you on your way. So let's get started. By the way, if you're a member of our Patreon or a paying member of our YouTube channel, you'll receive a download of the prompt sheet, which is this one here, straight away. Actually today, you should receive it today in the YouTube membership tab if you're a YouTube member, and if you're a patron, you'll receive it in an email, and it will also be in the daily watercolor challenges collection as well. So having said that, now let's get started. I'm going to begin with a sketch. And I'm going to be using some Meaden cold press watercolor paper, 100% cotton, and this is size 12 by 9 inches. I know that this isn't the most super duper paper that ever walked the planet Earth. Oops, sorry, just knocked the camera with my paper. But it is good quality. It's also in block form, so it's glued all the way around, which means that it won't cockle when you paint on it, unlike loose paper, which unless it's been stretched, will cockle when it gets wet. And then you have to straighten it, flatten it out with an iron or something. So it's all a bit of a pain. Anyway, so we don't worry about that. And we're going to do this on this paper here. And for my paints today, I'm going to be using my Viviva, what do you call these things? Viviva paint sheets or whatever they call them. And as you can see, I've cut them up. I couldn't bear it anymore. So I have taken the scissors to them and I have color sheets, that's what they call them, isn't it? I've cut them up and these are the ones I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using light green and sap green, and I'm going to be using crimson and deep pink and chrome yellow and vermilion and something else, dusk orange, yes, which are these two colors here. So this is not going to be the easiest way of painting that I've ever done, but the colors are incredibly bright, and so I thought it would be nice for a nice sunny day to do it with these ones. And I'm just thinking I'm going to have a problem, I know I am, because I don't have some of the greens that I thought I think I'm going to need, but never mind, when we come to that, we will deal with that problem somehow or other. So I'm just going to start the sketch. Like I said, I'm using watercolor paper, which is cold pressed, so it does have some texture, but that shouldn't interfere with the drawing because I'm using a soft pencil. This is a 4B ordinary art pencil. So let's start off by putting in the vase. And I'm going to make the vase take up about a third of the page, okay, roughly, and then the flowers will, fill up the rest of the whole thing. So, and I'm not bothering about perspective or anything like it because Matisse didn't. He was the one who broke all the rules in the early 20th century, late 19th century, broke all the rules about perspective and has freed up a lot of people to become painters who would never have dared try because they knew that they couldn't paint perspective because it's a bit of a challenge. So for all of us. So anyway, he doesn't worry about that. So neither do we. And I actually, because for all my life, I have tended to paint with three-dimensional perspective in mind, I actually have a little bit of a problem neglecting to make things flat and so on and so forth. So you'll have to shout out if I'm putting in too much perspective for you. You have to yell at me and say, don't do that. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be painting like a child. And nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being a child, I mean. Everybody had to be one at some point in their life. So I'm just rubbing out some of the superfluous lines there, which we don't want. Okay, so we'll put the flowers in first, and let's put a nice big sort of daisy thing here. It's going to have big petals And it's going to sit here and look completely unrealistic and out of proportion and everything else, but we don't care about that. And then we'll have another one down here. And another one over here. We'll do this one a little bit different. You can just do whatever kind of style of flower you want. You put one with big, loose leaves. I think these ones are going to be pink. And we have another one over here, which is going to be like this one. And another one up here. This is a good, well, this is fun. This is fun. And then we'll put the leaves in, coming out. I'm not going to draw all the leaves in, but I will put some of the sort of indicating lines for where the leaves are going to go. And we'll put a few sort of stems coming down to give us an idea where the stems will be. And then we'll put kind of, this is a cheats way of doing a vase of flowers, really. So if you see what I mean. And then we will do more flowers up here, but they'll be kind of floofy ones, if you see what I mean, sort of broken up, dotty ones, and a little bit more relaxed, perhaps. And out here, I think we need another biggish one, so we'll do something like this, which could be considered a, what do you call those ones that have sort of like floral spikes? Red hot poker, is that it? Okay, and we'll have a bit more of that there. So like I say, we won't paint the leaves in, but they will all be going all over the place like that. So now it gets interesting. I've got 2 pots of water here, and one's clean and one's not so clean. And I shouldn't put it there because that will cast a shadow on my painting, so I'll put it over there. Is that okay? I think that'll be all right. So let's see what we can do. No, I want it the other way around. We'll do it like that. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to put the red in first. This is actually really annoying. Let's put some red for the tablecloth. I'm not criticising Viviva. Their paints are lovely colours, but I don't like the format myself. However, that doesn't mean to say that they're not useful for, you know, like travelling and stuff like that. If you're off on the road, definitely a good idea. I am going to have to turn the air conditioning on now because it's hot in here and I'm starting to perspire. So I'm sorry if there's a background noise, but here we go. The temperature is about 26 today. That's not, oh, that's, I don't know what that is, about 80 or something. It's not that hot, but indoors it does tend to get a bit warm. Okay, so started with that, and then I want some blue. And where is my blue? Peacock blue, is that the colour I'm looking for? No, not really. Slate black. That'll do, slate black. And peacock blue are going to give me a nice bright blue. So let's pop that in. The other day we did a painting, didn't we? Which was of houses here in Egypt, and I was doing them in colour and talking about a colour-led painting. And I suppose that's roughly the same as what we're doing today here. So we'll do one stripe like that. And then we'll do another stripe like that. And then we'll go back to that dark colour. We need some black in that. Quite a bit of black. And then I'm going to do the handle like this. Make that darker too. And then let's put some paler stripes down the side, across the bottom. And then this is a nice orange. Turn that over to get the vermilion. And we pop a lovely vermilion stripe in down there. Okay, and then we'll go back to the black and the blue. And put another dark line in there. Let's just bring that down a little bit. Okay. So there we are, there's our jug, for what it's worth. And now let's paint some flowers. Let's put some lovely different colour red. Remember what we were talking about a while ago? Paint the world you want. I think that's important to remember. We might as well. Not going to get it any other way. So we'll go for vermilion on some of these little flowers up here. And I might go back to the yellow a little bit as well. For this one over here, perhaps. And perhaps we'll pop in another little one here, with no real need for any particular shape. And we have magenta. That's a good idea. That's a palish kind of pink, and we'll put pale pink up here. Oh, I didn't mention the brush I'm using. This is about a size 12, round, synthetic. Let's have some more orange up here. And here, and here, and then we could add in a few blue, a few blue. I can't find any blue. Ooh, where's my blue gone? Peacock blue, yes. A few pale. Ooh, look at that green. Gosh. Yes, that's interesting. Okay. I wanted blue, actually. So we'll pop in a few bluish flowers down here and up here. That one was meant to be orange. I'm getting the need to start with my greens, I think. So let's put in some leaves. And, you know, we can just get really creative with the leaves. You can add black to green to give you a darker green, like this. And if you add orange, you get a more olivey green. And if you add yellow, it's going to go more acidic. Like that, so. And you can always add some dark dots into your lighter colours whenever you feel you need to strengthen the colour a little bit. We're just literally throwing one colour in after another. Just to get it started, and trying to go with the Matisse idea of movement. He was very keen. I don't know very much about Matisse, apart from Matisse was French, and he came from the north of France, and he came from a relatively bourgeois family that they used to sell food and paint, actually, oddly enough. His mother was a mixed colours in paint. I don't know if it was for houses or for painting pictures or both or what, but anyway. And his father was a seedsman, and they used to sell corn and things like that. And but he was not at all happy with the thought of taking over his father's business, and sort of rejected that and wanted to go to art college. But when he got there in the end, he didn't like it. And so he made himself ill, and his mother sort of rescued him. And I don't know, it's a long story. He got married, and he had an illegitimate child as well, which in those days was not a thing. And anyway, eventually he found his style towards the end of his life, really. Which was very loose and exciting. And it's really caught on in the world of the young at the moment. A lot of people are painting in his style. Not everyone's admitting that they're painting in his style, mind you, but some people are. Inga Budever, or whatever her name is, I can't pronounce it. Inga, who wrote the book Painting Calm, I think. Well, I know. I'm following one of her courses, actually, at the moment. I bought it on Domestika. I have no affiliation with them. She mentions him a lot because she is honest, and not to say other people aren't, but she admits that he is a big influence on people who are painting now, and that is very true. It's obvious. There's a lot of very, very loose, unstructured, deconstructed, I would say, even deconstructed painting. I don't know if that's the correct term, but it's much more. Now I'm using the dark sap green at the moment. That it's darker than any sap green I've ever come across before, and I'm just using that to sort of flick in little darks here and there before we go much further. And as I have said before, I don't actually look at the painting while I'm doing it. I think that's probably pretty stupid, actually, but that's what I do. I don't look at the whole painting. I just paint. I just paint and pray, if you see what I mean. Yes. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, won't we? Don't be afraid to let things overlap. Doesn't matter. It's actually a good thing. If your darker leaves are over the top of some of the lighter ones. I'm going to look for some more blue. Persian blue. Yeah, there we go. Persian blue, and we'll dilute that down quite a lot. We'll put a bit more of that up here. And we'll have some weaker dark sap green, so it's lighter but the same colour. And what we have to do now is we have to fill in all the spaces. Try and fill in all the spaces with green. And actually what I will do too is go back into some of the reds and things with a bit more, not that much more. A little bit more texture, perhaps. Maybe we want a bit more orange up here. And some of the things that we learned when we were doing the overlapping painting the other day, you know, letting the colours go over one another and getting a new colour as a result. And we can put some veins in as well into some of our leaves. We don't want them in all of them. This is nice, this turquoisey blue here. I think that was peacock blue, wasn't it? Not Persian, peacock. There it is. Was that one? I think so. Let's put a bit of that down here. And we can do a few leafy type things up here too, in peacock blue. Overlapping again. Maybe here. And I'm going to go for the black again and just make this one here a little bit more interesting. And this one too, perhaps. And we didn't put a dark in the middle of that one. Okay, I hope you're going to take part in the Matisse inspired challenge this month. It's completely different from last month. We've got a daily prompt for every day, and the first day is wildflower patch. So maybe you'll get some ideas for painting wildflowers in the Matisse style from this effort of mine. I'm doing this as quickly as I possibly could because we have to get this up for tonight and it's getting rather late. I had a bit of a health issue earlier on this week and it's taken me a few days to get over it. It's to do with off-gassing on furniture. We bought some new furniture and it turned out that it was not a good idea because it has made me unwell. I'm going to put a little bit of shadow here because I just can't resist it. Okay. And I think I'm going to stop right now. I think that's enough. Maybe just a little bit more dark green over here. So I'm mixing black with sap green. And sometimes you don't need to do a whole leaf, just a few sort of sections is enough in some places, if you see what I mean. And there's nothing wrong with using black in watercolor. Remember that. I think it's actually very enlivening. And sometimes you might want to come in towards the end of the painting and just kind of put some blacks in just behind, kind of thing. So, for example, here you might want to just put a little section of black behind this leaf, this petal. Or make it, I don't know, just make it generally darker. But you don't want to get rid of all of your nice light areas either. So you can go over what you've done. Don't forget, you can go over what you've done again. And you can alter things. You can go back and change things. You can always use gouache. If it all goes completely wrong and you want to bring back some light areas and you've lost the light, then just go and get some white gouache or something. I'm thinking it would be quite good. I haven't got any to hand here, but I'm thinking I might put a white line here. So I might do that. And I'm just going to look for a little bit more sludgy blue here and just kind of link. I think it's not a bad idea. I think I've seen other artists do this to just indicate the background very loosely so that the thing joins up. You see what I mean? So it can be very loose and very interpretive, very lively, but it should probably connect with the background. So when you see the next photograph of this, you'll see a white line here because it needs it. But apart from that, I'm going to leave it like that and call that done. So there we are. There's my Matisse-inspired floral flower in a jug painting. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. And I'll say goodbye. Don't forget to download your Moments of May watercolor challenge prompt sheet. And I will see you soon with another painting. I'll say bye-bye for now and take care and see you soon. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.